about purification. Okay, so Blue Storm is about the water and the purifying aspect of water. Okay, so Blue Storm helps us to tune into the purification of the body temple and ignition of the light body. And yeah, we are water. Our body is made of water. And I'm going to be going through towards the end a little bit about how we can work with the water in our body and help to reprogram the water, reprogram our body in order to assist that continuing recoding of our system. Okay. So yeah, and a bit about the system. So we have this system of mind, body, and spirit. And the way that I see it is that it's all interrelated. So within our system, we have the parts of our mind, we have parts of our body, we have our spirit and the different aspects and the technologies and the guidance and wisdom of our spirit. And I don't see any of these in isolation. I see them all as coming together and working together. And ultimately, for me, I'm trying to achieve this harmonization of these different aspects of me, of my body, embodying this human vessel. And so today we look at how to do that. And I want to start off by talking about the temple, the idea of the human vessel as a temple. And I know in one of my earlier videos, I talked about our environment, and I think I talked about the toxins in our environment and how important it is to consider those elements, things that might be kind of influencing us or in our way. And I'm kind of go beyond that a little bit and get us to tune into this temple that we want to create or that we are creating. What is it? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Because this temple is our one true possession, this physical human body that incorporates all of these other aspects, the mind, body, the spirit, all these multidimensional aspects. So I want to start here at the temple, okay? So I'm going to take us through a little process, which is about tuning into that temple and creating the foundations for the temple, okay? So let's start off by actually going into this process, okay? So I'm going to ask you to just find a comfortable position, okay, seated or lying down. Close your eyes and just start to connect to your breathing. Maybe taking a few cleansing, purifying breaths. So that's taking air in through the nose and then just releasing through the mouth, just really letting it go. So we'll do 3 of those. Just returning back to your breathing, back to a comfortable breathing for you. Just tuning in and noticing that breath, noticing how it travels into your body, how it moves through the body, this purifying and cleansing aspect of the breath, and then how it leaves the body. And just notice any parts, any sensations in the body, any feelings, any thoughts, anything that's there, that's present. Maybe just letting those parts or those aspects or those sensations know that you're there, that you're feeling them, sensing them, that you're with them, and allowing them to just be. Now, I'd like you to picture yourself, your vessel, and go within. Go within to a place where you feel safe or familiar, or somewhere that just feels neutral, that feels okay. And just be with that place. Maybe put your hand there and just breathe into it. So now we will start creating our temple. Your temple is your place where you can be yourself, where you can feel present, feel neutral, be with the energies of your system and the different aspects of yourself. And I want you just to start to tune in to what this temple can look like, what it can feel like, what it could be like. Thinking first of the structure or the form or the energy of the temple. Is it a room? Is it a building? Is it a tree house? Is it an energy bubble? Whatever to you feels right is okay. You may want to tune into where your temple is placed. Perhaps your temple is within a forest or is floating, suspended in the air and the stars. Maybe your temple is grounded on a road. Or maybe it has no surroundings. It just is what it is. And that's okay. So now imagine that you're with this temple, or you're inside this temple, or you're encompassing this temple. Let's start to tune into what this temple looks like in terms of its aesthetics. Maybe there's color in the temple. Maybe there's art in the temple. Perhaps there are particular patterns or symbols. Just allow yourself a few moments just to see or feel or know that those are there. Looking around the temple, being with the temple, just noticing what's there. Maybe there are all other structural elements to your temple. There might be a kitchen, there might be some furniture, somewhere to sit, somewhere to make a cup of tea, some familiar home comforts. Or maybe there are different places in the temple, different energy places where you can be with an energy or be with a part. Perhaps in your temple there are some smells. There may be incense burning, or sage, or maybe some essential oils that you love in a diffuser, emitting some calming smells or energizing smells. And this may change dependent on where you are when you visit this temple, and that's okay. You may now want to place some important or helpful tools in your temple. Tools that you may want to come back and utilize to do inner work or to empower your temple or to cleanse your temple further. For example, you may have some crystals in the temple. You may have a journal in the temple to write some notes or to write a poem or draw an image. You may have some instruments to play a song, play some music, or to do some sound healing. You may have a book to read in the temple. So take some time and pull in some objects, some tools into your temple and allow them to be there. Now tune into any aspects or elements of nature that you may want to bring into your temple. Perhaps a bowl of water to help you purify and cleanse. Perhaps there are some flowers or plants within your temple. Maybe there's a little fire burning, or a sensation of wind blowing within the temple. Perhaps gusts of wind or just a gentle breeze. Maybe you have some earth, some soil. Maybe the floor is covered in earth and moss and plants. You may go as far as having a little mini ecosystem of plants and soil and water and maybe little animals and insects. Whatever feels right to you. Perhaps there's a window in your temple and you can look out and peer to the environment beyond the temple. Maybe it's the city around you or nature around you. Or maybe it's the vast openness of space or a neutral plane of existence. Now just take a few moments to be in this temple. To feel the energies within from all the elements that you've placed there. Allow yourself to smell the smells, take in the symbols or the beauty or whatever it is that you've put in there. Just allow your senses to absorb them, looking around, being and feeling. And just sit with that. So in a moment, we're going to leave the temple and we're going to come back into the room and back to the video transmission. And if you'd like to stay in the temple and take it in, absorb it and be there, that's okay. Just pause the video and just continue to be. And when you're ready, you can press play again and come back to the transmission. So taking a final look round, taking everything in, and knowing that you can come back to this temple at any time. Maybe just give some gratitude to the temple. Leave behind a little piece of yourself or your love or your energy, and let the temple know you'll be back. So now we'll gently leave the temple and tune back into our body and back into our breath. Just becoming aware of the body and the sensations of the body, maybe moving your fingers, your toes, moving your body around a little bit, and becoming aware of the room that you're in, where you're sitting or lying. And when you're ready, just coming back to the room, opening your eyes. So, what we have done is we've started to create our temple, a vision or a visualization or a feeling of what our temple, our body, our human vessel temple can be, can feel like. And I very much invite you to maybe take some time out to reflect on this temple, integrate it. Maybe tune into any of the aspects of the temple that we created within that maybe you'd like to bring to your outer external physical world. Maybe there are some ideas that you can incorporate into your physical world. So, as I've done this exercise before, and I visualized how I would like my inner temple to be and feel, and the different things that would be in it just to help me to activate my light body, help me to harmonize the energies within, help me to tune in. I've been able to take some of those elements and put them in my external world. And that's really helped me to create the heaven on earth. So I'm a skywalker, and that very much for me is so key and so central, is really creating the heaven here in this physical reality. And my home for me has been my physical external world temple, my heaven on earth. And so I like to fill it with the smells and the tools and the art that help me to really bring balance, that help me to be held, because the physical space for me is just as important in holding us and holding that space for us in order to do our work and move forward, just in the same way as we may organize our internal world. Okay? And I found that when I've been in really challenging times and things just seem all over the place, I love to come back to my home, to my environment, and I love to just be with my crystals or cook nourishing food or put some essential oils in my diffuser and be with that and allow that to hold me. Allow that to activate myself, bring in more self energy and activate my light body. Okay? So I invite you to have a look at your external environment, your temple that you live in every day, and tune into what you could do to create your heaven on earth. And if you're in a temporary environment, living environment, that's okay. Even more of a reason to create your own space, maybe an altar. It may be even as simple as an altar, a small little space that's just yours where you can go and you can be held. And you can utilize those tools to help you to integrate or align or do your inner work or just be. So for me, our purification starts here. It starts with our external environment, and it starts with our internal environment. So anything that we can do to enable those environments to be as healing and as cleansing as possible is really, really, really key. Okay. So with a blue storm is connected to water, very, very, very much so. And our body is made of 99% water. And we know from Masaru Emoto's work that water holds so much energy, and water can be changed. The structure of water can be changed depending on our thoughts and depending on our intention. Okay, so in his studies, when people directed their positive conscious thought and intention to water, the structure of the water aligned into becoming these beautiful geometrical shapes. And that was an indication that we can program this water, to align. So water does have that very purifying, cleansing effect to help to unstick anything that's stuck, any residues, or anything that's hanging around that we want to transform. Okay. So I invite you to think about your water intake. Think about the quality of water that you have in your home. You may want to think about filtering your water or adding activated charcoal to your water to help to purify your water, so that when we're intaking that into our body, that's helping to purify and cleanse. Okay, because our breath and water and what we nourish our bodies with are our fundamental building blocks, our fundamental basis of our transformation, of our purification, and then transformation. Okay? And with this water, with the greater intake of water, maybe 2 or 3 liters per day, we can really start to clear out the channels and aid in that detoxing process. Okay? So water and breath have powerful detoxifying elements, as does food and nourishment. And I've talked quite a bit about food in terms of how we can bring in more energy into the body to be in a better space to hold ourselves and to go through these processes. And now that we're doing that, we can further catalyze the transformation through the clearing of the detox channels in the gut, in the liver, and in the kidneys. So water is very central to that, as is food, the food that we eat, the quality of the food and the nutrients that we take into our body. Okay? So when we're thinking about cleansing and detoxing the body, we always start with the gut. Okay, and we've talked about bringing good bacteria and inulin into the body to help the gut to cleanse and to heal. Okay? And there's more that we can do. I will be working through and launching an online program shortly, which is Gut Detoxing, which you can contact me about. And I would encourage that as a next step to this purification process. Okay? I'm also going to be sharing a list of kidney detoxing foods. So if we'd like to utilize water to purify the body temple, then we can also support the kidneys in order to do that, because the kidneys are very much the channel of the channel of the water detoxing element of the body. Okay, so foods that support the kidneys are really, really important to make sure that that channel is functioning optimally, and I'll share that with you after the transmission. Okay, so please do revisit your temple. Take time to work on your temple further and really visualize and tune into what temple do you want to create within your body. What does your temple body look and feel like? And how can we start to bring that into our external world? How can our external environment help to facilitate our body temple? Okay. So